Blacklist Hunter here, and today we're going to talk about Kurapika and how he broke the limits of Nen. There is no doubt at all that Kurapika is one of the most intelligent and coolest characters in the whole series. After Kurapika finished the Hunter exam and got his license, moving on to the Zoldyck Estate arc after saying goodbye to Gon, Killua and Leorio, he wanted to pursue his objective as a Blacklist Hunter in order to capture the infamous Phantom Troop. So we know that Kurapika learned Nen in 6 months, and while Gon and Killua were in Heaven's Arena practice in 10, Kurapika was on the move to find some work as a Blacklist Hunter. So the man Kurapika managed to find this underground agency which was located in the middle of nowhere, meaning it was not easy at all to find it, and he was even praised by this lady, which I gotta say has a unique style. But at first glance, this lady who could use Nen told Kurapika that she couldn't recommend him to any clients, and of course Kurapika was like, I have the hunter license and such things. But then she told Kurapika that his test wasn't over yet and went on to activate her aura and transmuting it to take the shape of a skull, and straight up asked Kurapika if he could see anything. And of course Kurapika couldn't see the aura. This is not Hisoga Moro we're talking about. The man could see the aura without any training. Anyways, Kurapika left confused as to why this lady didn't recommend him to any clients at all. And to be honest, the lady at this work agency looks damn intimidating and quite strong. She may be average, however I get the feeling she has a tricky ability. So Kurapika left, and in the anime Izunavi steals Kurapika's license after passing by to him, and of course Kurapika didn't even notice because he was lost in thoughts. It happens. However, the anime did it pretty well. Kurapika then is walking into the forest and he feels somebody is following him, so he gets kind of nervous. So Izunavi then throws something at high speed towards Kurapika. He dodges as he felt the aura at that dangerous moment, and you can see that even the tree got destroyed. That's how powerful the throw was. Then Izunavi shows himself and simply tells Kurapika that he didn't notice at all that he stole his license from him or notice him when he was passing by. So he tells him that can a newbie who knows nothing of Nen defeat him. So of course then Kurapika fought him but got cooked, staying down defeated at night while it was raining. I gotta say the anime did a pretty good job on this scene. It was pretty nice when I first saw it. Even when I rewatched it, it's still pretty damn cool. Then the man himself, Izunavi, tells him that the real exam has begun, and so began Kurapika's Nen journey. So after Kurapika caught Uvogin using chain jail, we got a flashback on how he became this strong. I mean, capturing the strongest member in physical strength of the Phantom Troop is no easy feat. Even hunters with experience cannot do it. I know Kurapika is smart and had some tricky abilities, but still Uvogin is no joke at all. So Kurapika did the water divination test to see what Nen category he falls into, and it turned out that he was a conjurer, and Kurapika stated that he wanted to be an enhancer. So Izunavi tells him that he cannot change what he was born with. In this same chapter, Uvogin is still shocked on how Kurapika can have the defense of the enhancer, blocking his punches, and still materialize such a strong chain able to contain him. So Izunavi explains that if Kurapika has 100% proficiency in conjuration, he would have 40% on emission abilities, 60% in enhancement and manipulation and so on. But in specialization, he would have 0 proficiency. So Kurapika asked Izunavi why would he have 0 chance to master specialist abilities, and he tells Kurapika that it's something that is inherited since birth or acquired growing up in special circumstances, special environments. So due to conjurer and manipulation categories being closer to specialization, it's likely that people with these Nen categories can turn specialist later on in life. Kurapika's teacher though definitely is strong, and I really like him as a character even though he's not a really important one. Izunavi told Kurapika that he is spot on for wanting to be an enhancer, so basically like Gon, because enhancers can enforce offense and defense. It's more practical in a fight. But Kurapika, being a conjurer, can only master enhancement skills at half proficiency. Izunavi then goes on to activate his aura aura and focus it on his fist, explaining to Kurapika that if a Master Enhancer enforces his fist with all his aura and punches Kurapika, his points are higher than Kurapika's ones. Say if Uvogen's punch is a 200 points, Kurapika's punch or defense enforced with Nen is at 160. So he would get overpowered and get dealt damage in a fist fight with Uvogen due to not having as much mastery as Uvogen in enhancement, plus the different physical strength. So all in all, Kurapika has no chance with a Master Enhancer, and Izunavi explained that Nen is complex, it's affected by emotions and will, such as fear, hatred, joy and happiness, determination. All these emotions affect the power of Nen in the Hunter x Hunter world. Izunavi continued to explain to Kurapika that using powers beyond his capacity would strain him and he needs to have a consistent power. So Kurapika asked if being a consistent conjurer, basically with a good ability, can make him capable to fight a Master Enhancer, and Izunavi basically told him no, but it's possible if he can find a good power to use. Izunavi then asked Kurapika if it's possible to conjure a sword that can cut through anything, and Kurapika knew it's impossible due to human capacity. So it's impossible to conjure anything overpowered and godly, even though you may be the best conjurer. So it's difficult for a conjurer like Kurapika to be effective in combat depending on the ability against a, let's say, an enhancer. So you cannot conjure something supernatural or a super sword, rather you can buy a good sword, but the catch is you cannot make it disappear or appear at demand. So Izunavi makes it clear that it takes incredible dedication, will, training and concentration to conjure something. So Kurapika chose to conjure chains in order to capture the Phantom Troop, or as Kurapika put it, in order to chain people at large to hell. So Kurapika then is told that he cannot conjure a unbreakable chain and it's pointless to conjure a normal chain. However, he can make the chain closer to unbreakable by making a contract. So later in this chapter, Kurapika revealed to Uvogen, thus ending Uvogen's trauma on how Kurapika is so strong that when his eyes are scarlet, he turns into a specialist. And I recommend you watch my video on Uvogen and why it's so underrated, and definitely subscribe. So Kurapika told Uvogen that he could never break these chains, and of course Uvogen tried. He did try, man, but he failed. So Kurapika had to abide by a Nen contract, a condition, and swear upon it to fulfill it. The harsher the limitation, the more power would Kurapika gain from it. A Nen contract multiplies Nen power and makes power go through the roof. And Izunavi made it clear to Kurapika that it's a double-edged sword, because if he breaks the condition and vow, he could lose his Nen powers. However, Izunavi had no idea on what vow Kurapika would actually make, and he was indeed surprised. So Kurapika told him his goal was to capture the spiders and hold them so they cannot escape. So he will only use the chains on the spiders. This condition, Izunavi told him that it's a bit weak. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend Kurapika Kurta tells Izunavi that he will put his life on the line, stake his life for this condition. So Kurapika was a bit frustrated and angry when saying this, and Izunavi noticed that his aura grew bigger, so he made Kurapika take the Nen deviation test again, only to find out that when Kurapika's eyes turn scarlet, he automatically becomes a specialist. And ultimately, Kurapika revealed in this chapter that his specialist ability allows him to utilize at 100% every Nen type, which is insane, totally insane and cool. Emperor time is simply next level, Kurapika is next level, and we did see Kurapika just punch Uvogen just for fun and use his holy chain to actually heal himself in front of Uvogen, and Uvogen had no chance against Kurapika. So while Uvogen was captured by the chain, he couldn't produce any aura because chain jails turns the opponent's aura into Zetsu. Kurapika became so strong he was able to capture the strongest in the troop, and he could not break the chain jail, so Kurapika was certain that the others would not break it as well. So definitely Kurapika is a great character. His training was amazing because Kurapika's will, his determination to capture the spiders and take revenge is so strong. He put his life on the line to attain incredible power, and plus his scarlet eyes did help a little bit. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. Let's reach 1000 subs, and check out my Hunter x Hunter related content. I put 2 videos right here, and I'll see you in the next Hunter x Hunter video.